right, welcome to the show. How are you doing, guys? Let me turn this up a bit here. Don't know how to transition, but it is what it is. Welcome. Scotty boy, how you doing? Good to see you. Hi, Karen Lynn. Smooches. Much smooches. So, a lot to cover today. I've got a lot of tabs here to get through. Just some funny stuff and lots of edibles. That's the way to be. Nice. And of course, at the end there, it'll be an open chat. Hi, beloved. We'll go through some viewer mail if we have any. I think we have something from beloved. We have G Sharp. And of course, you guys can always come up and talk about these things as we go through them. Let me post the link here. I didn't hear from you over there, G. You came up and didn't hear from you much. I was away or something. Good to see you, beloved. Good to see you, Scotty boy. Let me go over to YouTube and I'll pin that. No D Ocean always likes coming up a couple other people. I might get a need. We'll see. Yeah, so got a lot to cover. Cut that. Give me a second. Pin this here on YouTube. Oops. Wrong thing. There we go. All right, let's close this down. Good vodka. You got some vodka? Well, we're not remote viewing, so that'll be just fine. Y'all here. Okay. So what's up first there? Native graves mistake. That was a story. I've been following this one since it started. We knew it was kind of a hoax. Let's get right into this. Turn this down a bit. Hey Beef, how you doing? And again, if anybody wants to come on up, the link's up there at the top. Okay, I've got a small video for this. There we go. Okay. Original speed.
You so about, but less documentary.
15 children have been found in a mass grave in Canada.
Many of you know that just over a year ago, the discovery told you so about, but nevertheless, we told you. And now we've released our documentary about it for free so you can help tell the world.
Well, the remains of 215 children have been found in a mass grave in Canada.
Many of you know that just over a year ago, the discovery of the remains of 215 children was found at the Kamloops Indian Residential School at the coast. But what if I were to what I just said wasn't true, and that in fact, a year later, not a single body has been found?
This mass grave is a painful reminder of the genocide.
Canada's leaders aren't condemning the burning of churches, they're endorsing burning of churches.
A juvenile rapist in the same area.
You'd be surprised the number of people who say, I'm a doctor, I'm a paramedic. This is definitely a human bone, and it's definitely not.
It's like the chief. Been 2 years, 3 Now, of course, many of you watching this know that that claim, which was labeled as a stark truth and amplified by the legacy media, wasn't true at all. And some of you have known this for 2 years now, thanks to our journalism. That was the only news outlet to get our boots on the ground right away to show you not just the sincere grief that many were experiencing because of that claim, but also to show you the facts that the legacy media wouldn't dare to show you. We let you know right from the start that the claim that the resting place of 215 children could not be confirmed through ground penetrating radar, and that while many, including political leaders, were implying that the claim proves some sort of child massacre had occurred, the RCMP, which has the resources to investigate such a claim, were suspiciously pushed out of the city. But we didn't stop there. Around the 1 year anniversary of the false claim, when legacy media was claiming to care about the National Truth and Reconciliation Day, despite not sharing the truth still about the unmarked grave claims, we did even more. We released a 1-hour investigative documentary that got you information never told before from the BC Coroner's Office, the RCMP, and the chief of the Tecumseh herself, Roseanne Casimir. We put a lot of work into it and a lot of money to produce it, and we just released it for free. It's at kamloopsdocumentary.com, and we ask those of you who value our efforts to donate while you're there. Pop up across the nation that there were actually no human remains in places that were formerly believed to have unmarked graves of residential school children further vindicates our journalism. It doesn't change the fact that the lies are still living on. Canada has become comfortable being a country bolstering the Canada is a racist nation narrative to young students who continue to be taught nightmare-worthy misinformation about mass dead children discoveries. It's a place where people in positions of power have the gall to advocate that anyone who vocalizes critical thinking and questions grandiose unmarked grave claims should be charged with a hate crime. And Canada is a country where, despite having well over 300 members of parliament elected to represent the people, not a single one of them has had the courage or integrity to say.
Following discussions among members of all parties in the House, I understand that there is an agreement to observe a moment
Started
of
the push
silence to
towards
commemorate
prison, right? Verbal
National
prison.
Indigenous Peoples Day and mark the discovery of the remains of 215 children at a former residential school in Kamloops.
They've given them a holiday,
You can do better.
a paid
Head to
day, so they get that too.
kamloopsdocumentary.com and share this documentary far and wide. If you appreciate that, unlike the legacy media, dollars to repeat misinformation about unmarked graves over and over, we the facts from the start. Please donate what you can at documentary.com and share that documentary far and wide.
So yeah,
It's quite the thing to say we told you so about.
let's get rid of that. So yeah, that's so far a total hoax that the government is getting a paid day vacation from. We're going to have to pay for that. No improvements for the native people. And generally, when we do give aid to them, what happens is it gets confiscated and sometimes taken completely by the tribal leaders of various groups. Seen all kinds of examples of that. Hi, Nina. How you doing? It's false. There's no bodies recovered. No, not yet. And they've dug down and looked for remains, but they haven't really found any. So, you know, but they do get a vacation for it. The government gets a paid vacation, and that'll continue in perpetuity, like forever. And they use it. They're trying to use it, right? They're attacking, like, you think of the various avenues of attack they can utilize this with. They can utilize it against the Catholic Church, white people, various groups that they can imply this on to cause division. And the idea is for self-hatred. And teaching it in the schools, basically teaching that, we, the white people, came over here and murdered all these children. I don't think what we did to them was good, but I'm not saying that. But these mass graves are not turning out to be the truth, and the truth is what matters, not flying off on the handle and making up wild claims and then, taking action on those wild claims. And that's where they want people, is to the point where they can just make wild claim, this did that, don't think about question, and they're going to make it law that you can't question, so that they are unquestionable. So any evil deed that they claim can be immediately punished without thinking about it, without any recourse, without any defending yourself, right? Exactly, Nina. We're being gaslit. We're being set up to be gaslit on a constant basis, right? There is a species, I think they're landlocked, but I'm not sure. Right? The evil white people. Cam Loops, you like that name? My mic is acting up? Okay. What? Okay, that was so there's lots of ways they can utilize that. That's kind of what I wanted to cover with that. It's being used basically for the government to be able to say whatever straw man they want. Hey Marlena, good to see you. Like us, asking questions about it. Like Rebel News asking questions about it. And making that basically illegal. Can't question the news, you can't question elections. Even though they've universally lied to us, the news, on a long, for a long time. You hear it now? Okay. Oh, the crackle. Is there a crackle? Could be my headphones. Okay. All right, Phoenix Rises. Good to see you. I do have some music in the background. I don't know if that's it. And my wife's moving around. So there are other noises. So that was pretty much what I wanted to cover about that. This is, again, the push towards total control of our speech. If they can keep this in place, even though they have absolutely no evidence to claim it, they can start pushing other things and other things. It's like a sales tactic. You don't have to talk about the product or anything. Doesn't matter. But if you can get the customer to say yes to 7 questions you ask them in a row, the next question you ask them, they're going to say yes to. So it's training the mind to say yes over and over again in sales and with what they're doing. Oh, you told me a lie, but okay, I'll accept it as truth. You told me another lie? Okay, I'll accept it as truth. So they do that over and over until your brain is just trained, accept the truth. I know you guys don't do that. You guys will not be susceptible to that because you guys are thinking. You have to analyze and question, and you guys do. So with these things, we have to watch how they're used. Hi, Phoenix Rises. Okay, what was it up next? Hold on. Not that. Oh, yeah. Let me just read this. I had it here. Although we pretty much discussed it. Okay, if anyone's been paying attention to how Marxist liberals work, they would not be surprised to find the Canadian mass grave controversy was a complete hoax. Well, it turns out the Catholic missionaries in Canada weren't running genocidal concentration camps for decades and hiding hundreds of dead children from the public. I know, what a shocker. If you're unaware, in 2021, the narrative was released in Canada that Catholic boarding schools, officially called residential schools, had buried hundreds of children in unmarked mass graves over decades. The impetus for this complete hoax was the alleged discovery of human skeletons under the ground on native land where the schools were used to operate. Of course, they were allegedly skeletons, were simply aberrations in the soil, which included things like rocks, trees, roots, and other non-human things. The narrative exploded overnight as a result of many Catholic churches were razed and others vandalized. So they burned a bunch of churches down. It was remarkable to live through, as it was the summer of 2021 when vaccine hatred really started to ramp up, and a very difficult time to be a Catholic Canadian and a vaccine heretic at that. Of course, it took time to look into what was actually reported. It was clear that no mass graves had been found. In some cases, it was discovered recently after excavations were done on alleged grave sites. There were literally no bodies, only dirt. In other cases, all that was discovered were community cemeteries that were once taken care of by towns or Catholic parishes and had since become property of various native reserves. These graves were unmarked because the native bands had not replaced the wooden crosses over which over decades had broken down. In addition, when the churches had and municipalities were pressed, they had in their archive records of who was buried long ago, and nothing was unmarked or unknown. Why were the graves without crosses? Well, like Rousseau, secularists have bought the lie of the noble savage, which is wholly ironic. These same liberals will tell you that it's racist to think of different ethnic groups as having unique character traits, generally speaking, and in a qualified sense based on a number of factors. At the same time, they look at the natives in Canada through the lens of a Pocahontas fantasy, as if skin color and heritage dictates every aspect of the character. The Native Canadians could never lie, according to the Liberals, because the Liberals believed the fallen human nature only applies to Europeans, who are in their mind both racist and lesser than all other races. If they don't have double standards, they would have none at all. Reserves in Canada are notorious for being run by corrupt opportunists who oppress their own people and exploit lax legal restrictions to run gambling, drug, and prostitution operations. Do we really think the people who run these communities will be forthright when an opportunity arises to amp up the victim card and demonize evil colonists? Not to mention the mass sums of money the government will give to these groups as a result of the allegations. The funny thing is, if you speak to virtually any Canadian privately, they will all agree that native reserves are cesspools of corruption and that the native leaders have been caught lying time and time again. It doesn't matter. Pandora was let out of the box, and the Prime Minister, a rabid, baptized anti-Catholic, had no problem sharing the narrative. as if it were fact. An iconic photo was taken of him kneeling with a teddy bear at a grave, signified by an orange landscaping flag. Turns out that in that case, he was kneeling at one of those community grave sites that is now owned by a reserve. And for all we know, he was kneeling at the grave of a European Catholic woman who died at an old age. He could have been. Okay, the problem is much deeper than this empty grave hoax, however. Until the last 20 years or so, residential schools, where are we? Were seen for what they were. Heroic institutions that offered Native Canadians a shot at living a civilized life. Some could argue with that. Educated in an official Canadian language, people have become so ignorant of history, they have no idea what life was like for natives before the evil Europeans stepped foot on Canadian soil. It was oftentimes pretty rough. Okay. Skip over that a bit. The province of Ontario, so he's just citing his opinions on natives, which I'm not really going to read. So that's about it for him. Okay. But yeah, it's used as a political tool. Hey, Steve-O, how you doing? Good to see you. Very little unicorn serum has surfaced. Yeah. Oh, there's Marlena.
Hello.
Marlena, how you doing?
Good, good. How
Good
you
to
doing?
see you. Awesome.
Good. Hanging in there. Hanging in there.
So, any thoughts on the residential schools in that, or
School suck. I don't know.
Did you watch that story on that? They've used it to give themselves a vacation. So the government's got a paid vacation because of it.
Wow.
Some of the Indian groups will get money. The money's turning over a complete hoax of mass graves of Indigenous Canadian children.
How do I,
Hi, no. Good to see you. I mean, hi, not no.
Okay.
Yeah, who defines a civilized life? Yeah, I'm not interested in his opinions on that. Some native tribes did build permanent houses. Some didn't. It just they had different ways of living. Very good to see you. Having some technical difficulties?
I think I can see, but I'm hearing W, so I think. Oh, and now I.
Oh, close down YouTube. Close down YouTube.
I did.
Did it help?
Yes, it did.
Other than that, yeah, headphones. You got those in.
Yeah, I got the headphone. Yeah. So no feedback. But yeah, the schools are crazy because the information they're, like you said earlier about preparing us to say yes and getting practicing saying yes all the time. The schools are so conditioned to a certain narrative that it's ridiculous because they've totally taken a lot of things that should be in there out.
Yeah. In 2 provinces in Canada, they passed laws for the parents to be involved in any transitioning talk or anything of that nature that happens with the children. So there's good pushback.
You mean as far as transitioning? You mean as far as like a sexual preference?
Yeah.
Like if they're going to be
have different pronouns in school and stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah,
like if they change their name in school, if they wish to be using like if a boy wants to be in the girl's bathroom because he feels like a girl when he's at school, the parents have to be informed.
Well, I think the parents should know.
Yeah.
But I don't believe that the little boy should go into a girl's bathroom. I'm sorry, I don't believe that's appropriate.
No, he shouldn't. No.
I mean,
No.
the little boy go to the little boy's bathroom, little girl go in little girl. That's how.
Maybe if he's chopped his wee off, but
no. I don't know. It's such a hard thing because they say, I get it. They mentally think that and emotionally think they're born like that, which they might be. I have no, I have no specialty in that. But a lot of them are using it for sick purposes. The older people, I'm not saying so much the children, but the older people, yes.
Some young people as well, young children as well. Unfortunately, yeah. As I've heard, as young as 12, abusing it.
They're starting out young. There was a little boy who went to school with me when I was younger, and he was very flamboyant, and we were in 8th grade, and he didn't want to go to school one Monday. I think it was the day. It was like the next day was going to be Valentine's Day. He didn't want to go to school the day before because he had told the one of our popular boys. He had told him that he liked him, and so that weekend the boy went home, told his dad. His dad told him, "Kill that fucking fag, shoot him." And so he took a gun to school that day and shot and killed our buddy Larry. And
holy shit!
It was a big old process. The dad ended up getting in trouble for it because he's the one who gave the kid, his son a gun, and it was horrid. But I'll never forget that Monday. He did not want to go to school, and he was crying and begging, and he didn't want to go to school. And they told him, "You have to." And he went to school in first period. He did that. And it was all over the newspapers. It was just ridiculous. So, it can be a very sad situation, and it's very misunderstood. I don't think anyone really understands what they're going through. But still, the way that they force it on us, the way that they throw it at our faces on TV, I don't appreciate that, and I don't really care for that. I mean, it's fun here and there, and certain issues, but it's too much. There isn't a show that doesn't go on without man on man or girl on girl. I mean, girl on girl is pretty. Men on men, I'm sorry, it's not. But to me, that's my personal opinion. But honestly,
hi Teresa, how you doing?
It's a it's a touchy situation for them to do it into the schools. The parents must be informed. We were talking about something last night. We were talking about something last night about the blue for the houses in Maui.
Yep.
Do you think that that's true?
Because they don't want you to see this would be my guess. But the only way this message is going to get out right now is if you, until your fingers bleed for America, start sharing this video. The edge of the fire went to that little grass. This was all just grass, no trees. You can see a couple trees right there. It just went to the edge of the sidewalk. I mean, not even to the sidewalk. It just went inside of this fence, and then it stopped right before it got to this guy's thing, this guy's house. So you have liquefied aluminum running down the side of a grass fire.
The window, if you look at the big old, almost like
the glass is just melted.
Yeah, it was
dripping. So I don't know if you guys have figured this out yet, but the media has not been given access to Lahaina town. They don't want taken of anything in Lahaina town because they don't want you to see this. This would be my guess. So the only way this message is going to get out right now is if you
So you think everything that blew isn't going to get hit?
That's what we were talking about. Yeah.
Do you think
I've seen images of that. I've seen it.
Yeah.
It seems to be real. There is a predominance of these rich, wealthy people painting their tops of their houses blue. Now, we'd have to look back on Google Maps and see if the Lahaina people had painted their houses blue as well. Apparently, though, I'm guessing they hadn't, because that's what a lot of the evidence is showing. And speaking out about that these rich people have their houses painted blue, like their roofs are blue. I think, though, I think it's a metal roof in blue, which would also further protect you because it would help reflect radiation, light, light beams of all sorts.
That's very, very interesting. The blue.
And if it's blue, it would. And I've seen the laser experiments, but with certain colored lasers, yeah, blue does not burn.
Wow, that's so crazy. That's nuts.
Yeah. So, and we saw the same thing. Cars just beside things with nothing else burnt but the car. When we had the wildfires in California, I think it was, there was people just sitting in their cars, stuck in their cars.
That burned to death.
And they were burnt to death, sitting in their car. Like, why wouldn't you get out and run?
I think the smoke gets to them and they knock out.
Well, yeah.
Or they suffocate or something
possibly.
like that. Because I couldn't imagine just burning to death.
Yeah. Yeah. It seems awfully suspicious,
Yes.
And this melted glass is nuts. What's the melting point of automotive glass?
Isn't it like thousands of degrees?
I think so.
It's just, yeah, that was.
Check that out. It says 1400 to 1600 degrees, depending on the composition. That's Celsius, so that's it's 2.5 times greater than that in Fahrenheit. 1.8 or 2.2. It's bigger. So that's around 24 to 2800 degrees to 3000 degrees Fahrenheit. And 1400 is around where grass burns at. Quite hot, but not hot enough to melt glass. The heat does affect and distort it. Yeah, and most of them are shatterproof as well. So they do have a component of plastic in them that will melt or at least get soft. So yeah, that is one of the subjects I did want to cover, because we've seen it. They've used all this. I think they're testing out their technology again. Well, they're using it really systematically.
100. HARP 100.
They're taking out the air. They scanned it with the green laser. This is how the story of the conspiracy seems to pan out. Is they scanned it about a few months ago, green laser. So they mapped it out, and then they went ahead and attacked it with directed energy weapons. Also using technology, because they probably amplified that storm with chemtrails using HARP.
So what would be so significant about Hawaii that they would want to get everybody off of there and have it for themselves? Because when you think about it, it's not a very safe. There's volcanoes. It's in the middle of the ocean. It could get tsunamied out. It could get, I don't know, certain things. What would be behind their reasonings? Because it's
very pretty. Yeah. Yeah. They want to build their 15-minute cities too. So these places can be this could be isolated, like in Hunger Games, the isolated cities, where you don't know what's going on in any other city except what they tell you, and that's one of the ways to do it, right? Yeah. They're having trouble instilling their 15-minute cities. We're not agreeing to it. So you start in small areas, and you burn them out. You build your city, and look who's buying it. Look who's buying up all the land. Oprah Winfrey, or Mark Zuckerberg, right? She's bought apparently thousands of acres.
Yes.
Which like a quarter of the land practically.
Sick. Just sickos. No, it's sick. They did that to those people, but I guess if that's what vanity, or if because it's pretty and you want to do that to another human being or a living being, that's
They're that petty. They're
yes.
that
Well, we
petty.
know that. Yeah, we know that.
You
That
know, they
yeah,
are that sick.
and it
It's,
is super petty. Yes, it is, and just
they possibly killed up to 500 children or went around with buses and scooped them up before. You
they
know,
found those 15 girls in the back of that SUV at the rest stop. The truck driver pulled over to get some rest, and he seen this pickup truck pull up, and they open the back tailgate, and they get all these kids out of these. He said it looked like a cage inside there that had a tarp over it, and he rushed them into the bathroom, and he said he just didn't feel right about it, so he called the cops, and sure enough, they pulled them over. They had 15 little girls in there, human trafficking them.
holy shit.
And thank goodness, Ed, it was 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning at a rest stop in the middle of nowhere. And that truck driver, he used his brain. He was a dad, so he thought. And he said, you know what, that ain't right, because you got to, certain things you got to speak up nowadays. It's just sicko. And the kids, they can't speak for themselves. Unless you teach them to scream fire or something like that. A lot of people aren't going to come if you scream help. You say help, they're going to run. No one's going to run to you. You scream fire, everyone want to see it.
Yeah.
So, but those, 15 little girls in the back of a pickup truck, in the back of a bed of a pickup truck with a tarp. It's just ridiculous.
Holy.
So I get how petty and how stupid these people are.
Yeah.
How greedy and selfish, and don't they get it that they're gonna die one day, and they're gonna have to reap what they did is heinous. I guess they don't think about that.
Yeah. So yeah, see, they like we look at Haiti. Hillary went down there, and apparently she snatched up a bunch of kids. That's the conspiracy on that one.
Hillary Clinton. No,
Yeah.
She's such a twat. She's genius. She's smart lady, but she's a twat. She's heinous. She's heinous. They all are. I came to the conclusion even Reagan was, and even Kennedy. I started thinking back because I really wanted to hope that Reagan wasn't that bad, wasn't the I don't know. When the Reagan Museum opened up, or the Reagan Library opened up in Simi Valley, my kid was chosen and Nancy Reagan actually chose my kid out of all the kids in the school to cut the ribbon with her to open that library, and there's a picture in the newspaper and everything like that. So I always wanted to like Reagan, and plus he came out with the Star Wars initiative or whatnot. But I'm just thinking they're all corrupt behind the scenes. They all are in on something. They've all got, even Trump, unfortunately. I think he's got his little dirty secrets and nasty ways. And
yeah, we were discussing that. I was over on the Realist McCoy, that the forgiveness, and for these people on the lower levels, like that were coerced and forced into this, of course we'd give you forgiveness, if you came forth and said what's been done, and helped us stop it, like come forward. We'll give you forgiveness. We'll give you amnesty.
Have you heard about the designer babies, or the designer the celebrities are designing their kids or something? They're doing something with their designer babies. Have you heard that one?
Yeah, I have. You can basically make a clone.
Yeah.
Like you make a little yourself, and you don't need an egg or a sperm. You're making like yourself. They take your cells and they put them into an egg and a sperm, and then they recombine it, I think.
Because forget the deep fake. You could just do that with anybody you needed to and knock off that person. You wouldn't even know. No one would know better.
A lot of people think they're going to try and resurrect Nimrod and Akhenaten and all these people from the past.
Akhenaten would be good with his big old hips, his big old boobs. No, Akhenaten would be good, but I know.
A lot of people think they'd be giants because, or at least that Nimrod was a giant, right? So he'd come back as a giant, but I don't think he would. I think he'd come back the same size as us. if they were able to do
I
that.
wonder because they probably do it according to our normal sizes today, not so much as what
Yeah,
he was
I
back
think it's
then.
more
Yeah.
environmental than genetic.
Ooh, that would
Could be
fun.
genetic thing, though.
That'd be interesting, but I don't know. They don't want to bring back certain people. That's for damn sure. But that is it. But there's anything is possible, anything. So they could be doing it right now.
So Teresa says she was an advocate for women's and children's rights. It's just a thought nut for me to tough nut for me to crack and accept these alternative things about her.
It is for Hillary Clinton.
Yes, I get that.
Yeah, she's genius. Like I say, she's genius. She's a smart woman, but she just got her evil ways. She does.
Yeah, people with that much power, they have to be scrutinized as much as possible.
Yeah, you can't let those people die over
You
it.
know.
Like the way it went down, that was just ruthless. And you
Oh
can't say
God,
she wasn't
what the
part-
things
come
these
on.
politicians have said, not her, not speaking to her like recently, like talking about the children in Iraq and saying, yeah, 140,000 children was worth it. No, it wasn't worth it. I forget the exact number, but it's ridiculous statements like that.
They all do that stupid
Yeah.
stuff. And
But
do we
they,
really listen?
they enrich themselves and they alter the laws and they make life for human beings worse, unfortunately.
Yeah, do you guys ever think about the postage stamps from Amazon and eBay being laced with the COVID-19 virus?
No.
Okay, so over here in California, there's a up in Fresno, which is north above where I live, and there's the mayor there. He has found they busted a lab like back in I think it was June or July of this year, and it had over like 900 mice and stuff that were infected with the COVID-19. And the thing with this is this lab is a big warehouse, and the only reason why they caught it is because these city workers happened to notice they had a hose illegally hooked up to their building, so they went in and inspected, and then they found this complete science lab that was doing all these testings on all these different viruses and technology whatnot, and they had put it in mice, and they also had postage and label stamps from the companies, and they were lacing those. This is the assumption. It's not proven, but the assumption they were lacing those with the COVID virus or any other virus they had in that system. Now, what's bad about this is if you're a private company and you don't have any donations or any kickback from anybody or anything, but you're perfectly fully funded, you're self-funded, you don't have to tell anybody, the state, the county, the government, what your lab does. If you're self-inclined and you have it all to you, you don't have to tell them a damn thing about what you do. I mean, that's ridiculous to me.
Yeah.
That's
how many
science,
more are
really?
out there?
And so you got to stop and think, how many more are out there? How many more?
Yeah.
So they couldn't give it to us through the shot, and they couldn't give it to us through the bullshit or the BS. They had to give it to us through. Now they're going through the stamps. Now they're going through the postage. Now they're going through the return labels.
Jesus.
So it is. It's nuts. I never thought about return labels and postage and stamps and things like that. Not so much the stamps. I'm sorry. Not so much the U.S. postage stamps or things like that, but the return labels from like the eBay and the Amazon and
Holy shit.
the return, because if you notice, they'll say the return labels or something come from somewhere else as opposed to coming from Amazon or certain that they sent, that the labels that they sent on the packages even.
Evil little bastards.
So those are things I think about, and I never thought about that before. And so this judge or this mayor is trying to get this thing turned, because who knows how many other warehouses there are that are operating like that because they're privately funded.
Exactly. Yeah. Wow.
It's just ridiculous. It's just ridiculous, and I gotta go to work. Okay, I gotta go, but I wanted to say hi.
Thanks,
I'll be late. I'm running late. I'll see you guys later tonight. You guys have a great day.
Bye, Marlena.
Bye.
Have a good night.
Night.
That's crazy. Yeah, how many labs do they have hiding around all over the place? Okay. Do we have labs running around everywhere? I don't know. I bet we do. If they just found one by accident, how many more have they hidden, right? And designer pants. Oh no. Have they infected designer pants? No doubt. Okay, let's move on to this. This is kind of funny. Here's a nice distraction they're putting in front of us. I don't know if it's you guys can judge whether it's truth or not.
Formerly Twitter. On one hand, you've got CEO Linda Yaccarino enforcing this freedom of reach, but not freedom of speech policy, and lawful but awful, which is obviously just
Anyone else
shadow
pop up?
banning
I think the link's up
2.0
top.
for saying things that somebody at Twitter doesn't like, or that an organization like the ADL tells Twitter, now X, that they don't like. And got Elon Musk threatening to sue the ADL, which I like because the ADL is just a fraudulent, obviously partisan political operation. Here's what Elon Musk himself said: to clear our platform's name on the matter of antism, it looks like we have no choice but to file a defamation lawsuit against the Anti-Defamation League. Oh, the irony. And if you want to know what a joke the ADL has become, well, let's take a look at their hate submits. So these are the very first things on it, okay? 100%, 101, 11, 12, 13, 14, 1423, 1488, 18, 21, 2, 12, 23, 16, 23, 311, 318, 33, 6,
So these are calories
38,
for the offenses they have
43, 511, 737, 83, 88. So that's a lot of numbers. What about 25? You think you're safe with 25? Well, 13. See, yeah, if you just recovered from a cold and somebody asks how you're doing and you say you're 100%, well, that means you're 100% hate and probably on your way to a pogrom. Alex said this: wouldn't be the first time the defamation would be found to have defamed people. And here it says judge finds ADL 10.5 million in Colorado defamation suit. To which Elon Musk replied, interesting. In our case, they would potentially be on the hook for destroying half the value of the company. So roughly 22 billion. Well, that's a lot of defamation. And yet people are having fun with this on the internet. Everyone I don't like is anti-Semitic. An emotional child's guide to politics. Here, Elon Musk wrote this about Jonathan Greenblatt, who is the head of the ADL. He said, Jonathan at ADL kicked off a mass Twitter boycott campaign less than a week after the acquisition closed. Literally nothing had changed about the site. Our US revenue is still 60% down from that campaign, but slowly improving. And here's the tweet from the ADL. Today, we are joining dozens of other groups to ask advertisers to pause Twitter spending because we are profoundly concerned about anti-Semitism and hate on the platform. But let's look in on this. Here, Elon Musk retweeted this. He says, accurate analysis from Mario Narfall. As an ADL's response to Elon Musk, in response to him saying that he's going to sue them. He claimed that Elon brought and amplified anti-Semitism and hate speech back to the platform. This is not true. The ex-safety team shared that an independent assessment by Sprinkler found that hate speech impressions on X to be 3% of 0.012%. So it actually went down. Accurate analysis. I wonder what it's then. Well, I found this on the FBI.gov website. Here, James B. Comey, Director, Federal Bureau of Investigation. This is from May 2017. And this was a speech at the National Leadership Summit in Washington, D.C. He said, I first met with you in the spring of 2014 when I was relatively new on the job, just 7 months in. I sang your praises as an organization that fights for inclusivity, diversity, equality, and justice, that works with us to fight hate crime and terrorism, to educate law enforcement, and to build bridges with underrepresented
to tell them who to attack.
Now, keep in mind, this is James Comey saying this, all right? Yeah, the same James that for some reason the DOJ declined to prosecute. They seem to like prosecuting political figures these days. I wonder why they didn't prosecute him. But the same James Comey that the DOJ declined to prosecute despite finding that he leaked info. And why did he leak info? It was to hurt Donald Trump. But anyway, back to the letter. I labeled that last speech a love letter to the ADL. 3 years later, I can say, from the perspective of the FBI, we're still in love with you. You know who else loves the ADL? Biden administration. They get to go to the White House to talk about confronting domestic extremism. Not this kind. Or this kind. Or this kind. But yes, the important kind. You know, tweets and people tweeting things they don't like. Oh, and as for the CEO of the ADL, Jonathan Greenblatt, oh, well, he was a special assistant to the president for Obama. How about that? Seems like there's a pretty cozy relationship between the ADL and the Democratic Party. And one might wonder if perhaps they don't work together to get rid of voices that they don't like. Huh. Here at Wall Street Silver said the ADL is a left-wing group focused on controlling corporations in service to a political ideology. It has nothing to do with its original mission. If you don't obey them, they will defame you by calling you anti and insert slur. And that's referencing the original tweet by Elon Musk saying that the ADL had kicked off a massive Twitter boycott campaign less than a week after the acquisition closed. And literally nothing had changed about the site in that time, of course. Again, it sure looks like there's something else at play, right? And remember that Elon Musk was promising free speech. And yes, I know he hired Yacarino after that. And now there's the, freedom of speech, but not of reach, and lawful, but awful, and all that nonsense. But this is before all of that. But Elon Musk replied to Wall Street Silver. They're saying 100. And according to the ADL, that's a hate crime. Anyway, that's all I got to say about that. Please subscribe, like, and share. I will see you next time.
So this whole thing with ADL is really, apparently it's backfired. They're under fire now as the organization they are. And it leads me back to, who is for us and who is against us. And is it just a big play? It all seems like a big play. But Ronald Reagan nailed it on that. Okay, I don't know what you mean, Scotty boy, but yeah, this whole thing is Elon for real or not? He still bans people. He's still got he's an enigma. We've got maybe he's playing both sides of the fence, and seems like because he's gotten them to pay for things, but now he's really under attack by them. I don't know, this ADL thing going down, it's awesome. I think it can diminish the ADL to a non-existent organization. I don't think they'll ever go away. I think that their reach and their influence will be greatly diminished, especially if Elon Musk used them for several $1 billion. Of course, they couldn't pay that, but it could severely diminish their reach and their influence on businesses and stuff. The whole Nazi, you're a Nazi, you're a white supremacist, you're this, you're that. That whole thing is getting old and fading on people. The gaslighting, it comes and goes in waves. The resistance to it, I've seen, but now it's see resistance to it is on. I'm kind of happy about that. That we're calling out the gaslighting for what it is. The same thing again with the like the native graves. They're gaslighting the people that are telling the truth. Just say no, it's true. You don't believe your lying eyes. It's true, and I think the masses are waking up to it. Hi, James. Good to see you. It's important to get the information out there so that they can see it. And again, that comes to us too, sharing the information, because they don't watch shows like this. Only you people that are awake really watch shows like this. So we have to exchange information and find little keys that work on waking these people up out of their slumber. I thought there was a lot of things that would do it, but it is happening en masse. I thought there would be few events that did it. There were like events that woke up thousands and millions at one time. And it seems to be happening over a slower period of time than I would like, but it does seem to be happening. And there's lots of hope for the kids. The kids are awake. Don't worry. Kids are not stupid. Let's see. So yeah, another distraction, pretty much. It could be. Not sure. Where are we here? ADL chief. Okay. So ADL, I'm going to read this article. ADL fires back at Musk for waging a campaign of harassment against the group. Elon Musk's crusade to demonize the Anti-Defamation League, who's been taken to court and sued for defaming people, is showing no signs of ending. The billionaire burning white-hot anger at the Jewish nonprofit because it had the audacity to point out how hate speech has flourished on his Twitter X platform. Continued on Wednesday, smearing the ADL and unleashing a ferocious verbal assault on its chief executive. Oh my. The unrelenting stream of menacing posts targeting the ADL has not been without consequence. Greenblatt told CNN on Wednesday the ADL had seen a surge in threats directed at the org. Oh, okay, now they have threats. They're just making stuff up. I love reading these. There was already a few points that I had a problem with, but he was unleashing verbal. Let's look at how stupid this article is. So this is what people are reading. He really unleashing a ferocious verbal assault on his chief executive. Oh my God. What were these verbal assaults? The truth? The unrelenting stream of menacing posts targeting the ADL has not been without consequences, Greenblatt told CNN. Oh my God. Wednesday, that the ADL has seen a surge in threats directed at the organization since Musk began his campaign of bullying against the renowned institution. Well, what threats? Give us an example. As a result, Greenblatt said the ADL has been forced to increase its security. Oh, okay. We always receive threatening language. Doubt you get threatening language. Greenblatt said by phone, because if you received one text that said something like anti-Semitic, you go after them with the law relentlessly and try to make an example of them. So I don't think you're getting that. And if anybody had, you would have told us of lawsuits that you've opened up if you were really getting those threats. Greenblatt noted that the vile attacks against the ADL coincide with his insights of anti-Semitism rising across the country that I've seen no sign of. He said that acts of hate in the U.S., such as harassment, vandalism, and violence, have reached an all-time high since the ADL started tracking them more than 4 decades ago. What starts online often ends up in the ground, Greenblatt warned, pointing to how the ban the ADL hashtag amplified by Musk jumped from Twitter to actual protests in recent days. Oh, that's sad. Nevertheless, despite the ominous climate, Greenblatt said the ADL remains undeterred on its mission to, and insisted that it will not be intimidated. Okay, well, I've had enough of that. That's terrible. What a piece of propaganda. Yeah, I love sometimes taking apart the propaganda, but I can only handle so much. All right, Teresa, have a good one. Catch you tonight? Awesome. Anyone seen Zoe? No. May King crown them, make bacon. Where's Kevin? God save their queen first. No Palladians are ready to slip? Okay. So yeah, again, it's propaganda. I don't know. It really blows my mind. Here's a really good thing I want to get to after the news. Blow that up. Okay.
I want you to go on a mental journey. I want you to imagine.
Isn't this curious? I don't know if it's real. But look at that. Is that an orb to beat all orbs? I don't know if I can get that any bigger. But really, I mean, what happened there? Now, I don't know if that flash at the end was part of it, but what a curious, curious thing. You guys have any thought on that? It looked like a plasma ball, definitely. How come they're always blue? I don't know. That one is blue. Screw these fools and their hate speech, yeah. Exactly, Scotty boy. So that's a curious, curious thing. That's one hell of a plasma ball. Wow. Now, is it feeding off of those lines, or is it ejecting power to them. I don't know. Thought it was really curious. That's a live one for sure. The color's so pretty. Yeah, it's that blue color. It's bluish. Yeah, fireflies being that bright, eh? So that was a really interesting one, I thought. Just thought you guys might like to see that. Is it? This bothered me.
Oh my god.
Hello, friend.
Oh my god.
I love you.
Jesus Christ.
I love you so much.
Oh my god.
These people found a robot dog randomly walking
Just a
around at night.
response.
Oh my god.
Hello, friend.
Oh my god.
I love you.
Do you hear what she said? I love you. Oh god. That just blew my mind. She's going to be happy about these things patrolling the... Oh, he's so cute. Little killer robot, right, Scotty boy? It looks white with a blue haze. Maybe from a camera. Could be. Milky Way, no Martin, no Jupiter. Dumbass people, right? Like, how could you cheer? Like, we know the future of
I love
that.
you so much.
Automated.
These people found a robot dog randomly walking around at night.
Self-driving.
Oh my god.
Hello,
With
friend.
weaponry on top. You know.
Oh my god.
I love you.
Oh,
Jesus Christ.
I love you so much.
look at your future enslaver.
These people found a robot dog randomly walking around.
And why are they having these things roaming around? Like, I could see if they, I don't know. It's coming, right? This is what people are wanting to use. Now, we see the end result of it where they're putting like a gun on top. What if they just put like a stun gun? What if it had a stun gun? Would you agree to that? It's just trying to get you on board, right? Right now, they're just using it for observation. They're just watching you. It's roaming around. So, you know, this should give you a sense of safety. So you feel safe because there's dogs roaming around and there's a man behind the camera there. And he's watching you to make sure that there's no crime going on, you know. But how far does it go, you know? That protector can very quickly be turned into your slave master, your corraler, you know, your killer. Doesn't take much. It's a very slippery slope. And we've seen slippery slopes go too far very recently. Quite a lot. So everything that they do, everything they want to implement has to be outright stopped almost. It's like ridiculous because they can't be trusted to use these technologies responsibly. They flat out use them for evil, for gain, for profit, for control. And this is going to be another one, right? Just a little creepy, yeah. Paint it black with flames and pentagram on it. See how much she loves it. Yeah. You know, put a gun on top of that. A shotgun, yeah. I want a shotgun. They'll probably armor them up so you need like a 50 caliber to get through them. Wouldn't be too much. Wouldn't take a lot. And a lot of them can carry quite a lot of poundage, so it really wouldn't take that much just to put an armor sheathing on top and a gun, and you've got yourself some right nice armory and weaponry there.
Around at night.
You know.
Oh my
But,
god.
yeah, it just blew my mind. The I love you.
Oh my god.
I love you.
Jesus
Oh
Christ.
wow. I like to think that the other girl saying Jesus Christ is not in quite agreement with her. I don't know if she is or isn't. I'm hoping, because I can see the horror that this thing could be used to be used for on us. I already got bit by a freaky spider thing with some sort of fangs. It was like a gang spider. We found some weird creatures up here that come from the south. Here, let me show you this. Caught this wrong button. Caught this what I think is a spider roaming around in my area. It's really creepy looking. Let me cancel that out. But he's got great big mandibles on him. Really creepy dude. Got spikes all over his body. These ones are not, I've never seen one of these up this far. Apparently they're from like south of us. But really creepy looking. Didn't know what the heck it was. But he's all armored. He's got nice big spikes on him. And two huge mandibles up front. Two huge claws. So yeah. We live near a shipping area too, so these can come up on the ships. That's where I found them, kind of close to the water. Well, quite a ways from the water, but where there's a lot of shipping containers. So yeah, really creepy little dude. It's interesting the life that'll make its way. Let's see, I think that was. Get rid of that. Okay. Then there was something chat about Egypt. I'm going to check my mail. So yeah. Yeah, we have beloved abstract with what will it take for me to endorse a presidential candidate? This is an interesting little bit here. So what would it take for you guys to endorse a presidential candidate? Any idea? There you are. Well, here's a synopsis.
And so I'm going to comment on that. Is many people have come to the conclusion that the system we have now has become hopelessly corrupt. And I would say this was actually written into the charters of these agencies, some of whom actually don't have funding, or private enterprises, or like the CDC set up like a military installation, which was meant to get funding from the very people, the very corporations it was meant to regulate. So the first thing is, if anybody says, well, how are we going to protect ourselves from bad vaccines or bad medicines or glyphosate? I would only point out that what we have now is obviously a failure. So continuing to do that, or hoping that we can clean up these agencies, just get better people in there, people who are more honest, or people who are not bought and sold, or stop the revolving door. And my take on that is that will never work. They're institutionally corrupt. It has very little, if anything, to do with Fauci, Gabardine, or any of these other people. They're just cogs in the wheel. And if you get rid of one, you're just going to have 10 more in the pipeline. So that whole system, as far as I can see, and this is one of my requirements for getting an endorsement from me, has to go. We're done with the agencies. So how, for instance, would we protect ourselves from the future Vioxx? And again, I just want to point out that the already Vioxx, which killed at least 50,000 people with so-called heart disease, that happened while there was an FDA. So the FDA, obviously, that system didn't work. So how would it work? Now, I only ask you to imagine a situation. There is no FDA, there is no CDC, there is no NIH. These were not part of the mandate of the federal government. The federal government was supposed to protect our borders and issue currency. So that's not part of it. So here you are as a person, and you're thinking, okay, do I want to take this vaccine or this heart medicine? Well, right now you rely on the FDA, and you hear over and over again from people, well, the FDA said it was safe, so I'm willing to take it. They must be watching the store. Or the chickens, they're the ones who are watching the slaughterhouses, so they know the chickens are slaughtered humanely and safe, which they're not, and the beef and all the rest of it. So you essentially outsource your agency, your sovereignty, to these agencies and institutions which are corrupt and don't do their job and have been shown over and over again to be hopelessly inept at best. Now that you know that, and you know there is no agency, you might say, if you have any sense at all, I'm going to look into this myself, and I'm going to start asking people, what do you know about this vaccine? Can you show me 100 people or 10 people who've already had it, and I want to see how they did.
Right.
Now, you can say, well, that's going to get pretty unwieldy, and I would agree. But so what's going to happen is there will be companies, small entrepreneurs, who will start to say, you know what, I'm going to look into whether this heart medicine is safe.
Yep.
So I'm going to start a business, and I'm going to look at all their studies, and I'm going to talk to people who maybe took it. I'm going to look at their patents and all their guidelines. And then I'm going to go to the company and I'm going to ask them a bunch of questions, because my business is telling people what I find, telling the truth. And if I don't tell the truth, nobody's going to sign up for my business, and I'm going to go out of business. So I'm going to have to figure out what's true. Now, it turns out that, Glaxos, whatever their name is, won't talk to me. Their spokesman won't talk to me. Fine. They can do that if they want. They're a free company just like anybody else. But I'm going to report that I have a series of questions for the spokesman of Burroughs Wellcome or Merck or whoever, and they won't answer my questions. I wrote it to them in writing. And next thing you know, there's another group that they're pro-industry, and they write their findings, and they talk about their studies. And then you have to essentially read them both and see which one makes the most sense. But again, all these people who are vetting these organizations and these medicines and these corporations, they're going to have to tell you what they find, or you're not going to, sign up for their business. My guess is you will create a whole growth industry of people who are actually telling the truth and finding out the real story of glyphosate and dioxin and vaccines and heart medicines, and that they will become a legitimate source of information that will be accessible to anybody over the internet. And the people will take the responsibility for themselves with the help of these organizations. And enough people will say, you know what? Because it's killing people. That will then tell the corporations who are making it, the drug companies, they can't get away with this anymore because we have a new fox guarding the hen actually cares about the safety of the hens, and we can't get away with this anymore. And as far as I can see, that's the only way this is going to stop. That's the way that that the system is therefore based on free people making their own decisions, taking the sovereignty back for themselves. Demand here is to stop non-voluntary mandates. Stop all non-voluntary demands. If you want your road plowed, you're going to have to talk to your neighbors and figure out who wants their road plow and how you can get a company to do it. And I can guarantee you somebody will come up and say, I have a snow plow and I'll do it for $20 and I'll do a great job. Somebody else will say, I do it for $40 or 10. And next thing you know, you'll have perfectly plowed roads. And if you don't want your road plowed because you want to walk with snowshoes because it's better for you, then good for you, and you don't get your road plowed. And I can see that would foster communication between neighbors, which is a good thing, and actually holding these people responsible. And all it takes is some organization and some caring about the choices and the freedoms and your own sovereignty to make this work. And that's not a bad thing either. Number 7 is I would immediately stop all federal funding of any medical, biology, or pharmaceutical project after we do the viral challenge, of course. That's what's number 1. No animal experiments research, which are basically torturing animals for no good reason. And all of this, if you want to make a drug and you want to do research, dime, and you can get the funding, and if it's worth doing, you should be able to do it yourself. It is not the mandate of the federal government to do this. Groups can come together and make their own private funding. You can crowdfund, and if it's a good idea, you'll get all the money you need. And if the idea is more vaccines or heart medicines, hopefully it will go bankrupt. Request number 8 is, again, in a free society with people who take responsibility for themselves. Everything that has to do with the government, after all, they work for us, should be transparent. We should have access to all the records of all the agencies. They should be available for public scrutiny, and that would hopefully engender groups and individuals who want to research what has actually transpired at the FBI and the CIA and the Smithsonian and the EPA and the CDC and all the rest of them. They probably have records in their basement about the history and all kinds of things. And I would immediately, if I was the president, make all the records available for public scrutiny. Enough of this national security concerns.
Yeah, maybe.
Let's have public scrutiny of us. And otherwise, we're talking about censorship. And if you say that censorship is part of the problem, which some of them are, then you should be against censorship. This is all federal public property. It should be open to the public to scrutinize and see just what these institutions have been up against, have been doing.
When is the
Number 9, again, not a mandate for the federal government, no sale of weapons, military equipment to foreign governments or countries or private militia or anybody else. We're not in the business of selling weapons. No foreign aid. It's always struck me as the absurdity with people who are not doing well here in your own country to go send billions or trillions or whatever amount of money it is to some foreign country to wage war against God knows who, which has nothing to do with us, instead of investing that money in better homes and clean water and gardens and clean food and healthy ecosystems and all the rest of it, none of which is actually the purview of the federal government, but is at least we stop sending any of our money to people outside us. If not to say we don't want to be good neighbors, if they want our help, we will be good neighbors and help them as best we can and make all kind of trade arrangements in various ways. But if we're going to help people, they should be people in our own country, not those around the world, because the fact of the matter is most of that help is with so many strings attached. And as a former Peace Corps volunteer, I know for a fact it's not happening. And so people will be a lot better off if we just mind our own business and be good neighbors. And the final thing, number 10, that I would request of this new president and to endorse it in the meantime is we initiate a sort of restorative justice process with all the previous high-ranking government officials. And I'm talking about people like Kissinger and Bush and Kerry and Trump and Obama and Clinton's and Susan Rice and people would be voluntarily, hopefully, in other words, they all volunteer, or under the threat of public exposure of their many crimes, we might have to have some sort of investigative committee to undergo a process of restorative justice. And what I mean by that is if people anywhere in the world feel that they have been harmed or trespassed against or wronged by any of these people,
coerced,
and my guess in the millions, if you talk about all the droning and bombing and dictator supports and funding that all of these people that I mentioned have done, anybody who has a legitimate claim that they have been harmed or wronged, publicly should be able to address these people, and they should have their say and be heard.
It wouldn't be
and they would only they would have the right to stop the process, not the so-called perpetrator of the crime. In other words, you get in front of somebody like Trump or Obama and you've been droned or your family has been injured, and you explain to them what happened, what you saw, and what the repercussions of this egregious act were on you personally and your family and your loved one who was lost. And they have to stay with the process until the victim, so-called, the people who was harmed,
Jesus is the only one I know of,
says publicly, this person now understands the gravity, the enormity of what they did. And that may take a while. And there's thousands of these people who would be in a line to explain their case. And so this might take the rest of these people's lives. And I think it's only through that process that we would actually begin to have the kind of public accountability so that nobody ever again would want to perpetrate the kind of crimes that these and many, many other people have done specifically in our names, because I don't want that in my name. So these are the 10 requests. I'll just read them quickly again. So sign the viral challenge, sign a doctrine saying that here's what we're going to do to change Social Security, specifically anybody who wants their money back according to a formula that we come up with could have it back at any time. Repeal the War Powers Act of 1933, correct the role of the federal government to protect and defend and create a currency, one of many, end the Federal Reserve, and repeal the 16th Amendment, commit to no non-voluntary acts. The federal government does not have the moral authority to require you to do anything. Otherwise, we're not talking about a free people.
Okay, continue. We're having difficulties. Okay, it's pretty much done, but let's see if we can chug him on.
Protection system would work in this system. No federal funding of medical biology, pharma research, a commitment to transparency, open up all the public records in all the basements of these various institutions that I mentioned. Otherwise, we're talking about censorship. No weapon sales to foreign countries or groups. No foreign aid. We will be good neighbors and honest neighbors and help when we can. And then a high-level government restorative justice program. And if anyone wants to sign on for that, I will also say I am willing and happy to interview any of the current candidates for president, and we will go over these points. And again, my only request is that we go over the actual facts of these points, not where doable or electable or anything to do with the politics. I'm not interested in that. I'm only interested in whether they're actually true and valid, because I can tell you that if it was me, I could sell the Social Security program that I outlined in a minute. Because as soon as people understand the scam of it, they will choose to take their money out and protect themselves and their families in a way that they earned. So thanks everybody for listening. We go back to the Wednesday schedule, and I will see what we can come up with to talk about next Wednesday. And again, end of COVID, everybody has to take a look at that. Everybody needs to sign up, if you can, to Pumpkin's Instagram.
I don't know. He's got some good points, though. I do like his thoughts. His thought process is good. Got to end the Fed, definitely. That would get rid of a lot of our problems. Stop spending on foreign money, foreign aid, NGOs. Just stop the funding to them. Promote independent research, you know. Government cheese, yeah, American cheese food. I remember seeing that when I was a kid. They didn't call it cheese. It was cheese food. You know, why is it called cheese food? I get, you know, something like tuna fish. Everybody says tuna fish. I don't know why. Because it's just tuna, right? Do you want tuna or do you want tuna fish? Well, no tuna is a fish. But, you know, why do they have to do that? It's government, so you know it's propaganda. So saying cheese food, I don't know, man. That sounds pretty suspicious. Although it is awful melty and goes great on cheese, on bread and stuff. The cheese food stands alone, yeah. Hi, you Tommy. Good to see you. So, what is the cheese food? I don't know what the cheese food is, and that's my problem with it. Cheese-like products, yeah, that's my problem with it. Some people love that cheese food stuff, yeah. Cheese food is probably 51% spider waste. Better than cheese-like food? Do they actually label it that? Cheese-like food? A short drop and a quick... Yeah, crimes have been committed, which may require... I do agree with that, Mark. Yeah, that's an unfortunate thing, but people have done crimes against humanity and coercing. Anyone who's done coercion for various reasons and things, especially medical things. Yeah, that's a crime, dude. Mr. Fauci lying about gain of function, that's not something I particularly credit to being passed around, but I believe that is being injected into people. So, tricks, which is part of the whole thing, their whole science thing. Trick and stir gods, tricksters, those red men, gambling. We have an analog cheese in Europe. People pay stupid money to have non-cheese cheese on their toxic pizza deliveries. Oh, wow. You want more cheese food, do you, B. Freeman? It's like non-dairy. I don't know. Does it have dairy in it? Maybe some spider dairy, goat dairy? I don't know. Goat milk's pretty good, though. Yes, I don't know for how long. Well, they've been doing that since the 70s, as far as I know. They really ramped it up in the 80s, 79, 80. Yeah, almond milk, yeah. Melted mozzarella. Now you guys are making me hungry. If I want a non-dairy, I just won't buy milk. I like my dairy. Almond milk wasn't bad. It wasn't bad, I got to admit. But almonds are such an incredible suck on resources. They grow them in the middle of the desert, so you have to pump in water from outside sources. It's just very energy intensive to create them. They're very expensive. I like feta cheese. It's goat's milk or cow cheese, usually made in like European countries. I like what's called Macedonian feta. Wrong one. Good luck with that, Scotty boy. Breast milk, okay. Goat cheese is pretty good, yeah. You can probably count the number of real food items in a store on one hand. Yeah, you have to stick, in my area anyways, you stick to the outside of the store, right? You don't go into the middle area. That's where all the processed stuff is. So if you stick to the outside, that's where all the whole foods are. And if you can find somebody who's selling local foods, that's awesome too. Much love, Tony. That know his name? Cool. Scotty buys breast milk online. That must be expensive. I bet that's really expensive. I don't think I'd be able to afford that, Scotty. Yeah, you're running out of pregnant friends. Yeah. I think that's going to be quite an expense for you. Can you really buy breast milk online? I bet you can. I'm sure you could. If it's out there, you could probably buy it. Yeah, you stick to the perimeter to avoid the food-like substances. Bet all these things are being shipped worldwide. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yep. We live in a one world government now. NGO one world government where the WHO dictates what medical freedoms and assets, and they're really going for power. Like they're going for total dictatorial control when they declare a pandemic. That's the real terror, because if countries don't go along, they're allowed to put troops on. So yeah, that's the big push. We gotta get that out, get some eyes on that. It doesn't give you karate abilities. I heard it gives you the ability to, well, that too, but what about origami? You got a breast pump? Well, here, if you take enough hormones, Scotty boy, you could produce your own milk. So there's that. They have a method for doing that through chemicals. You can literally eat yourself. Well, you can actually. You can order a kit where you can take your own DNA and grow meat in your own home. You can grow your own tumor meat. I think it's mostly tumor, though. It's probably not your genetics as much as it is the genetics of that poor lady who died with all those tumors. You just don't eat healthy enough to milk yourself, Scotty boy. All right, guys. I think that's all we've got for. Yeah, great idea. Nobody going to come up and nobody got really much to any other issues. Give a few minutes for you guys to think if there's anything else you wanted to talk about, except for Scotty boy milking himself. We'll pass on that as a subject. You guys have covered it enough. Yeah, you said it. We all thought it, but you said it. Well, that does help. Thought, rejuvenating yourselves through thought does help. But we're under such an assault. Unfortunately, I don't think we can quite overcome it. That's why one of the reasons I'm fighting is to overcome the assault we're under from, like we talk about, like the food, the air, the water, the electricity. It's all an assault on our system. So we try to mitigate it, at least I do. I try to mitigate it as much as possible. Do the energy work, because we should be able to heal ourselves. Not that we won't eventually get old and die, but we can do that in a much healthier, happier way, I think. Right? Research is the key, right? Yeah. You look into milking yourself there. I got some food last night. I'm not proud of it, but I was hungry. What'd you eat? Some of the stuff from the center? Yeah, I think we do have the ability to rejuvenate ourselves, but it is being severely attacked. Yeah, that pushes you because when they down your energy and take down your uh, resistance to disease and all of these assaults of toxins and stuff, you get sick, and then you have to go. Then there's the thought you have to go to their system, but there are other systems out there. There's the Wellness Company. Please look up the Wellness Company and other um, online places that understand about and sell products that deal with spike proteins. Salt baths are good, yeah. Medicate yourself as much as possible, that's good. Yeah, I'm drinking pure distilled water. I have a mineral stick that I put in it, but I've been forced to drink pure distilled water. I'd like to find a good source of spring water, but there isn't one around. They've all been bought up. Different spring water, yeah, made out of the state. Nice. Yeah, I would use it for everything. And you made a pancake. That's awesome. Yeah, it will. It'll change the flavor of the food because the acidity or alkalinity will make a big difference. Water came out of deep grade. It was a little blue. Neat. Yeah, I think I need to. Yeah, have a bath if it came out deep blue. Wow. Virginia spring water? I haven't had that. The only one I've had is the Fiji water. It's the only one they sell around here. And it's even hard to find that. Yeah, like every time I drink water that's not right, if even the spring water or distilled water, I have to add to it. Only spring water doesn't give me heartburn. It's just the way it is. I think they can deprogram myself. Flies cleaned me tons yesterday. I still wonder what all they do. The flies cleaned you? You mean you had a bunch of flies on you? I'm not sure if that's right. I think they can deprogram myself. Oh, nice. Found a couple of mushrooms. Nice. Have you posted your channel here now? That's right. I searched for you, but I was unable to find your channel. Let me give you a mod status if you don't have. Yeah, you do. Post your channel now. Make your own croissants. Wow. That's talented, B. Like a large maggot. It gives me attitude, Virginia spring water. Okay. That's cool. You make your own croissants, B. That's awesome. Let me see, I gotta slow up to here. I looked for your channel. I don't know how to do that not know thing. Oh, I am subscribed. Okay. Oh, okay. Good. Yeah, not sure.
Two days later, you got fresh water. Fresh drinking water. Clay. Probably it'll filter the water. Also, add some minerals back in since the deionizers takes those out. Don't need to leave it in the sun. It's better to do that when you're cleaning it. Wiping it down. 3 days later, you've got fresh water. Good quality fresh drinking water.
Cool.
So, the clay is only fired once, leaving it porous. When you fill it with water, it pushes the denser water out. The weight of it on the inside pushes it out. And if you keep this bowl here, it will cool, flow, and filter. This is a working, probably the only working, John Ellis water machine in the country. That's the
Wow.
deionizers. I say working, yeah. This is a working John Ellis machine in the country. Deionizers machine. Placement LED and down. So never got the original one.
You are serious about your water now.
Nice. Okay. Plain
Yeah, it does screw with memory a bit.
doesn't look very safe.
Wow. Nobody noticed the extra tape on the fan.
Big rocker Shungrat.
Wow.
UV. Deionizers. OWM4. No lid today.
Yeah, blue water, right, Mark? That looks cool. I want to drink blue water. It's weird it comes out blue out of a red clay thing, right? That's just freaky. Yep, this is No's video. That's really some cool. Turns water into vodka. No. Yes, amphora are very good. But you said it was only fired once, right? So it's so it's more porous. You said that's really cool. I know that a lot of clay pots are only fired once, but they put a glaze on the outside. I wonder if you could do. Would it work the same? It's up. It's up in chat a little bit there. You tell me. It's right in chat. Post it again there, no, if you want. That's really cool gizmo. Yeah, no glaze, right? That'd be hard to find, wouldn't it? Could be. You seem to find it okay. Where'd you find that amphora? I know I can't find them around here. That'd be, see. Wow. $99. Oh, these are expensive. Okay. I'll see you've got a link there. Natural supplies. €35. Or I'm not sure. Okay. Oh, okay. So type it in specific here. Let me share that. So they're ones specifically for water purification. I think that's it. Yeah. So amphora urn pot for water purification, detox, and energizing. I really like that idea. I bet there's probably those available somewhere. Let me type in that extra for detox. And purification. What a really cool idea. Okay, they're around, well, the one, let's see. Yeah, your site came up, natural spa supplies. Amphora aromatics, cleansing products. Clay amphora Pinterest. No, that's not it. Okay, so not so easy, maybe. I'll have to see. So I'll have to try and buy one of those. Let's see what shopping says. Oh, wow. Okay. An outer bowl filled with water, too. Okay. That's true. It's cheap when it comes to your health. Probably only have to buy it once. So. $293 for that one. Earth Amphora. So really only the few up there. And that was the one that you had directed us to. So I wonder if those are being shipped all over the world. I'll have to keep that link for sure. Because it doesn't appear that there's a lot of people selling those. Let me bookmark that. That's a really cool idea. €75 when you bought it. Important to have the outer bowl filled with water. Added a couple years. Yeah. I guess life comes down to paying for H2O. I'll tap Jupiter and see if she can send us some extra helium to go with our oxygen. Yeah. No charge. You're going to start making them? I have actually got a good source of clay right here too. The problem is the firing part. That'll be, you have to know how, you have to be fired. So that's the tricky part. Yummy. Unless you have a kiln, or you can build a kiln, or you have access to a kiln. Certain clays are not good for water purification. No, we have a really good healthy clay here. It's used for healing. It's a red clay. But yeah, that'd be cool to buy that. I don't have a kiln, so I won't be making one. Clay like the Dolores clay? Clay reborn? Yeah. Well, out of the clay, right? We were made out of the clay, so the Bible says. The dust of the earth. I'm not a reincarnating star seed. Okay. Yeah, tap water has all kinds of leftover stuff in it. And even some of these like distilled waters or especially like reverse osmosis has 10% of the elements that are in it left. Spring water, I don't know, I would just drink spring water straight myself. If it's a good source, you know. Yummy crap water. Yeah, that's a really good idea. I really like that. Because it's distilled, it would be good because that should remineralize it. Emmett has a kiln. Okay. Awesome. You can get together and with you, tell me, and you guys can make us all clay pots, clay amphora. That'd be really cool. Making a still would be a cool project too. Yeah. Yeah. I make my own honey wine, so that's brewing along. That kind of cleans up the water too. At least I think so. Probably not, because I use distilled. Yeah, that was really good. Good video. Yeah, mine too, Emmett. It's terrible shit. I can't drink it. My wife doesn't like drinking it anymore either. She used to drink it and be fine with it, but since she's had the distilled, the remineralized distilled water, she can't drink it now. Yeah, honey wine's yummy. Oh yeah, I have to premiere Beloved's recipe for that. It is that. Hey Morgan, how you doing?
Good. Is my sound coming through good? Is that sounding all right?
Yeah, a little choppy.
Ooh. Okay. Let me. There's new settings.
Okay. And scrub more often. Yeah, I'm not going to be on for too much longer. It's dinner time.
Oh, okay, okay.
I'll do another 20 minutes or so.
Right on. How's that sounding? Is it?
That's better. That's good. As long as your head's
okay.
straight up.
Okay, good. I set the mic volume to adjust. So there we
Yeah,
go.
horsehair pots would be cool too. Yeah, I featured horsehair pottery last night.
Oh.
But I used it as one of the images. That'd be good stuff to make, horsehair pottery. You need white clay for that, though, instead of the red clay.
And they make the
Now your
art
voice
out of
went
it,
out.
right?
Yeah. Yeah, they put strings of horsehair all over it before they fire it, or on the second firing. I don't know exactly how it's done. I think it's on the first firing, and it makes all these designs in the pottery. Did you watch any of the show earlier?
I didn't.
Anything? Good? Oh, okay.
I just caught it.
Yeah. Here's what horsehair pottery looks like. You guys see a few of that.
Oh, wow.
So.
Wow. How is it infused?
When they fire it, you rub it. I guess you rub it on before, and it just infuses when it fires and makes all these different crazy designs.
Oh,
I don't think it's throughout the entire thing. It's only on the surface. But when it fires, it moves, I think, when it fires.
Okay.
So it moves around and leaves an imprint. That's what I think happens. I'm not sure.
Wow.
What you see over here, it's like it almost exploded. I don't know. Does hair explode?
Yes.
You know. Makes all kinds of squiggly lines and stuff. Yeah.
Wow. Wow.
Really, really neat stuff. Oh, that one's even an antique, 170. 1960s Navajo marked horsehair raku pot. Cool. That's a beautiful pot.
Yeah.
Moonscape sphere horsehair. That's really cool.
Wow.
Really neat stuff. Really different, you know?
Yeah.
Unique, because each one ends up differently as far as I understand how it's made. There's no predicting what's going to happen. Well, there might be, I guess, with enough experience. But that looks like they put a feather on that one.
Yeah.
No, can't get it in any closer. But yeah, really cool.
I saw the giant slabs being turned into like the giant logs. That's wild watching that, man.
Where's that?
Beloved
Tell us more about
abstract.
that.
said that he's watching a sawmill cut giant logs into slabs. And I was
Okay.
wondering what trees they were using. I was wondering if they were native there.
Hmm.
'Cause I can't believe it when I see those trees that it took like 20 guys chopping it. But they're real.
Yeah. Well, there's some trees that grow big. I don't know. It's hardwood, cherry oak, maple. Yeah. Yeah. If they get to a couple hundred years, they can be quite thick at the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And a weird grain, all gnarly with holes in it sometimes and stuff.
The
Yeah. A lot of
knots,
people
yeah.
take those slabs, they make tabletops out of them. They'll submerge them in resin with different colors and stuff. And they sell them for tens of thousands of dollars.
I could see somebody now taking horsehair and putting it on top of their slab, right? And doing
Yeah.
that.
Fire it that way. Yeah.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Absolutely.
Curly flames. Yeah. Yeah. I've seen a few videos on them turning big slabs of wood into tabletops. It's really cool. But yeah, they get big money for that stuff.
That's what I always use is me finding out how much the table is worth. Oh, this is $50,000.
Your voice has gone out.
Oh shoot. Yeah, going into an office building with like a $50,000 table for the men to sit around, right? Or the women, whatever. The executives.
Yeah.
Can you hear that? Yeah. If you look at those people, they're unbelievably expensive.
Yeah. Your voice is still choppy. Yeah, only like some of these. Yeah, they're tens of thousands of dollars. This one table I saw, they were selling it was 30,000 some odd dollars for just a tabletop, a piece of wood submerged in resin and put on legs. $30,000. Like that's
yeah,
that's some good money. That's some good cash. You know.
Yeah.
I don't know if you or I did that.
jade
Would we be able to sell that? You know, is it a club that far down the would we ever be able to sell something like that and get 30,000 for it? You know, I guess we
or
could.
number that we call, right? Like we just have to know the
Or
number
is
of
there
the
a
guy
club,
that
or
wants
is it like, yeah, or is it a club? You know, like an art club, like Biden type thing. You know,
right?
You know,
To keep the
Hunter
price
Biden
up
made
too,
art.
right? Like,
Yeah. I don't know. It's interesting. I don't know if you or I did that, if we'd be able to sell it for that. I don't know.
yeah.
Hi, Gigi. Good to see you. It's an interesting
Yeah.
thought, though.
Art is another racket that's used for lawn. Yeah.
Yeah. Oftentimes, yeah. That's the. You know. So, who are these people selling these tables? That's the first question. That's because I've seen it go all the way down to a small level. You know, like who makes the juice boxes for the university or this or that. You know, silly little things that are all like club mandated. You know, oh, this guy's had a contract forever. We give it to him again, right? Because he happens to be, the second cousin of a guy on the board. You know,
Yes. Hmm.
nepotism. I don't know. I don't know if that works to tabletops or not. I bet there's on a certain level, in some cases, it probably does. Nepotism seems to be
I think
prevalent throughout our society. Barrel wood is hard to come by. Oh yeah, there's a lot of old woods or old growth woods that are hard to come by right now. Like a lot of the woods that they use now are reclaimed from underwater. 100-year-old trees that have sunk.
Yeah. To get whiskey beer. So I didn't realize. So barrel wood is a specific tree. Wow.
Key. Putrid burl, I think is what we're coining it as this time.
Putrid burl. So this is some kind of burl thing.
Burl thing. Half dead burl thing.
Okay, so. Okay. So.
Cool.
Give me some ideas here. Like, what are we trying to achieve from this? Because I'm looking at this like.
Yeah.
I got nothing. Where do you start? Yeah. Right. There you go. Colton's words of wisdom.
Burl cookies for coffee table end tables, and then maybe we get like a desk slab somewhere in the middle.
Oh wow!
You sound very sure of yourself.
I'm manifest that.
Yeah, a lot of times what they do with this type of wood, like rosewoods and other things, is when you split it and use it for something, you take like a smaller piece, like you only need a piece about like this wide to cover an area twice the size, because you split it in half like a veneer and use it, making a mirror image.
Right.
At least on this side, at least, it looks fairly solid. This actually looks like a solid, decent burl.
Because it is hard to find really
The
good
reverse
pieces
side
of this.
Seems like it's pretty well. So I don't know. We'll figure it out. There's some rippley stuff in the actual.
Cut it up
curly,
and see.
Like probably curly.
And we have a crotch. So
Curl burl crotch figure.
I don't know, man. Okay, so it's plain is what we decided, I think, before the camera started.
If we can get it to
maybe
sit right, yeah, we'll give it a whirl.
Because you're thinking like they'll get some smaller kind of weird shape things up top. You get the actual log something desk size is
30 by 60.
Maybe
36 by.
In theory, okay.
Really, everything's dependent on your
Edit.
How to restore your RV roof with liquid rubber.
Style points. Well, that is very cool, actually.
Oh.
Very cool.
I'm pretty happy with this.
This is way more interesting than the last ones.
Okay, he's probably going to use flaps. Oh shit.
Wow.
Oh, look at this. Look at that. Look at this thing.
Look at that vein.
Water boy.
A whole lot of water in here, but
I think with this one, like, I'm surprised and I'm not surprised. Like, I'm surprised
That's
that
really
it's
cool.
like so solid still.
Me too. Especially with the spalting.
I knew it was gonna be like there would be some like, weird grain in here, but this is even more spectacular than I was thinking. Like in the actual wood section, because you got compression figure all the way down the whole too.
Yeah. It is a weird crotch because it pretty much grew out at a 90 degree on this one lead here.
No comment, Ty.
I hope that ear stays.
Everyone's so unique, right?
Yeah.
Did that work? Okay.
Wow.
Holy ball. Here, I should have expected to be this like big.
Holy smokes.
Look at this.
Yeah.
Let's see, go in.
Nice locket.
Oh, yeah. Really cool. Let's not get engrossed in this.
from the outside, it just looked like it was just some
I guess they're going to make some.
Unfortunately, I hate
that's really cool.
that it was.
It definitely didn't look like much. I don't. It's just let's have some fun. It's more like a let's have some fun and just saw it for fun.
So that's the basic shape they got. All right. It's 5:30 here. I'm gonna have to shut it down. I'd like to thank you all for coming. Thanks for popping up, Morgan, even though it wasn't very long. Sorry about that. Makes me want to go find stumps and cut them. Yeah, me too. Gonna be tough to cut that. So yeah, you need a big ass saw for that. All right, guys. Until tonight, keep your third eye open. Use your intelligence and your intuition. Bye bye.